In England, it's different, man. And you see that in the performance. It's ruthless, man. To be fair, not everyone can play at the highest level. But there was a Southampton scout on all the trial games.
They're not going to scout you if you're the same level of what they already have. You have to be better than what they already have.
You know how many guys are trying to make it. You need to be really good and you need to outwork everybody to have half a chance. There are a lot of examples from players who joined the camp and are now playing at their national team.
A lot of players, right, they feel like, I don't want to play at that level because it's too low.
When you're good and you think you're good, go ahead and prove it. I dropped 2 levels to go and play.
During that 3 weeks, you obviously feel like a professional footballer. You live like a pro.
Yeah.
Everything you do is like a professional footballer.
You should go to every camp you can. But when you're 25, I thought this experience was amazing. Who in the Netherlands, in a little town where I am, got the connection to a Watford goalkeeper to ask some questions?
For the people that don't know, right, Youri attended our camp last year in June. And from the moment he got there, myself and the other coaches, we instantly said, yeah, we know he's a player, just from the way he carried himself, from the way, you know, his professionalism on the pitch, but off the pitch as well. Always trying to ask questions, always trying to learn, which is a key attribute to any player that's aspiring to be at the top of the game, any player that wants to be a professional footballer. If you're around coaches who are in the, you know, academy game, in the Premier League game, you have to use that to your advantage, and that's what you did as well. But also just the way you conducted yourself as one of the older players in the camp, looking after the younger ones, and just being that leader, which was amazing to see, as well as being an amazing goalkeeper as well. As you're a goalkeeper, where did football start for you?
I think when I was about 5 years old, I started playing in my local side, just a little town club, at the lowest level, and just grew up there. So before under 13, I was midfielder, attacker, sometimes goalkeeper, because I like to do that as well. On the way, when I grew up, I started to like goalkeeping more and more and more. And then about the under 13s, for there we had 2 goalkeepers, so we had to do a half and half. Yeah, things went off.
Where did that love for being a goalkeeper come from?
The fly-in, man. The fly-in.
You just enjoyed jumping around.
Yeah, just being crucial in a way no one else can be. When you make that top corner save, the feeling when you hear people already celebrating, and then I think that's very nice, because you really go to the edge of your ability with the jump, and you stretch full out, and you can just reach it and tap it over or behind or on the post, and it's great. When you develop goalkeeping, you get more in the other aspects. So in the beginning it was just diving and such, just on the line, but then you grow and get into high balls, knock people over, just the dominance you present, you're just a force in the 16-yard or 16-meter box. Strikers from the opposing team, when they first enter the match, they don't know you, and then when the first encounter, I want to make sure they know I'm there.
As a goalkeeper, that's so important, to make sure your presence is seen. When a striker knows, okay, that this goalkeeper is not messing around here, like they can feel you, that makes them a bit more nervous, you know, they're not as
rushed
and rushed. Exactly. And when a striker is rushed, the goalkeeper wins every single time. Striker has to be composed, you know. And when they lose that composure and they feel rushed and they're panicking, goalkeeper wins every single time. Yeah, overall, how did you find out about Train Effective? You know, about our camps? Where did that come from as well?
I always played at my local side at the lowest level. I got called by a big club in our region, and they wanted to sign me. So they pulled me up, I think, 5 levels at the time. It was a good experience. It was also a shock because I wasn't as good as I thought I was. So that's when I started to get invested in getting myself better and where to improve in the game. When you go and search on Instagram how to get better, you start seeing videos of Simon and other coaches, and that's when I saw Train Effective. And then I followed Train Effective for a while, then the camps, and with the new club I signed up for the Train Effective camp, which was last June.
You know how you were playing at the lowest level, and then you picked up 5 levels. A lot of players, right, they feel like, I don't want to play at that level because it's too low. I want to go to a team where they're higher up, but I might not even play. What would your advice be to them kind of players who feel like, I don't want to really drop? Because from my opinion, I feel like sometimes you need to drop levels to play, to show yourself, for people to see you, rather than saying it's too low for me, I'm going to go stay on the bench for a team higher up just to say I play for this team. It's clear as day for you. You know, you drop levels. You were playing week in, week out. you got scouted, and that's how you went up the levels.
When you're good and you think you're good, go ahead and prove it. If you're not playing at your current team, who will see what you can do? No one.
Exactly.
Only the guys in training see. 0% chance that you'll be scouted or selected by another team because you're not playing. The club where I was last year, we played Dutch second division under 23s, but I wasn't getting into the first team. I trained with the first team, but the first team goalkeeper was just insane. He was an ex-pro and that was nowhere near, and they were real with me. So I dropped 2 levels to go and play. I can show people what I can do because I know I'm not a bad goalie, but I never had the chance to show anyone. So I need to show people. With that, with playing matches, you learn, because training is one thing, but playing in a match is a whole different story, man.
And I think that's where also Train Effective comes into it as well. So obviously you thought, you know what, new environment, new culture of football, new country, coaches totally different to what you've experienced. How was your overall experience when you got there from the first moment? How was it for you?
It's like you join a new club, which makes you grow and it pushes you to grow because you get into a new environment. When you go to a new club, you're not always welcome. But here you're welcome. No one knows each other. So the bonding starts from the moment you enter, and it's not already somewhere you go into halfway there when it's already established and you try to make yourself fit into the group. No, that's not it. There's no group, and you join together as a team and you try to find out what everyone's strengths and weaknesses are. And I thought it was really professional, especially with the coaches and on the pitch.
For sure. And that's something we see as well. We're like the bond that the players create instantly. It's like one big family. A lot of players, they feel like, oh, I'm going to an environment, I don't know anyone there. Nobody knows anyone. You know, as soon as you get there, it's like one big family and everybody looks out for each other. And then you can see it all comes out in the showcase matches. You guys probably met each other, 2 weeks ago, and you're playing against other teams who have been around each other for years. You're showing that passion for each other. You're fighting for each other. You can be around an environment for 2 weeks and meet players from all around the world for 2 weeks, but you can create something really, really special. And that's what we see at our camp, and especially at the June camp with you.
I think when you're in an academy age, you should go to every camp you can. But when you're 25, I thought this experience was amazing, man. Who in the Netherlands, in a little town where I am, got the connection to a Watford goalkeeper to ask some questions?
You had your own personal goalkeeper coach as well at the camp, right? How was that for you? Because obviously he works at Watford Academy, so he works with professionals every single day. How was that for you, having someone there that every single day you can message him whenever you want, watching you, is helping you, you're learning? How was that whole experience of having that goalkeeper coach with you?
Yeah, I think it was unreal, man. Just when the guy shows up, you get to know each other, and then just go to do some drills, man. And the drills was fun. In the older group, we had 2 good goalkeepers, Stefan as well. He was also a good goalkeeper. So we really picked each other up at the goalkeeper training. So we made it good sessions, because Dan wants to give good trainings, but it's also what you make of them yourself. You got to push yourself to your limit. If you go in 50%, you never get a good session. So, and he enjoyed it because we were both 200% in, and he loved that as well. So he gave us 200% as well, and that was amazing.
What did you enjoy the most about the camp?
Yeah, that's a personal thing for me, of course, because I got to play the showcase game of the trial match for Hemel Hempstead. That was one of the heights, man. When Simon came to me and said, I think we're going to let you play in a trial match for Hemel. Yeah, for me that was unreal. I thought, damn, okay, so let's go. And
just touching on that, so obviously Youri was a standout player at our camp. Top keeper, as I mentioned earlier, professionalism, always punctual, always on time, how he conducted himself off the pitch, on the pitch, everything was top. Coaches really liked him, and we gave him an opportunity to go on trial at a National League South side, Hemel Hempstead. So he played in one of their matches during pre-season. Youri, tell us more. How was that overall experience, the football side of things? Because people might think, oh, it's Division 6 in England, but they don't realise that the levels, the levels and the standards of it.
I'm used to playing at a 3rd division in Holland. You think, oh, it's 3 leagues lower, but no, man. No, in England they got 4 pro leagues. You need to remember that. The hierarchy is different, man. There's so many teams that when you get in the 6th league, it can be your job, to be fair. And somewhere else in the world, in the 6th league, it's just a hobby. And in England, it's different, man. And you see that in the performance.
So what would you say is the biggest difference in terms of the footballing sides from the Netherlands and then England? Like, what would you say is the biggest difference you found?
If you see the professionalism in England, the way they conduct themselves and how they look and how they're straight to the point. For example, Hemel, I know because Simon told me, they have a board where every player gets scored on the training. So one-on-one duels won, one-on-one duels lost, balls lost, pass accuracy, etc. And when you're on the bottom of the board for a prolonged time, they're gonna have a chat with you. And if you don't improve, you're kicked off the squad because you don't perform.
So it's ruthless.
It's ruthless, man. And in Holland, it's not that ruthless.
You came to the camp, you did really well, and instantly, we gave you the opportunity to go in and trial for Hemel first team and things like that. So to players who are interested and they feel like, how does the whole scouting process work? It's possible, isn't it?
It is. To be fair, in our London camp there were some guys who stood out, but yeah, that's to be fair, not everyone can play at the highest level. But there was a Southampton scout on on all the trial games. We work with great goalkeeper coaches, great coaches who all have connections. I know one guy, Isaac, he was really good, man. And I know Simon put a word because he was from Colorado, I think, and he played at the Division 3. And I know Simon put a word in for him at a Division 1 coach.
Exactly, and that's the opportunities that we provide for players that we feel like are at the required level. We have connections all over the world, so players need to realize that not every player can get scouted. You do have to be at a required level. You have to be at a high level, because at the end of the day, they're not going to scout you if you're the same level of what they already have. You have to be better than what they already have. If you're not better, they're not going to take that risk.
Also, what Simon says is you got half a chance. So he won't say you got a chance. It's not really a chance in football. How many guys are trying to make it? You need to be really good, and you need to outwork everybody to have half a chance, because there's also luck in there. But if you really want it, you have to give it everything you got.
For people that don't know, give us an insight into a typical day at camp, from when you woke up all the way to when you went to sleep.
My typical day would be around 6:15, waking up, getting to a cold shower, onto the bike, doing some stretching, back to the room, getting dressed, then to breakfast. Depends on your training schedule. Sometimes you're already at the coach at 7:30, onto the training pitch. So then at 8:30, I think training starts. After that, back to the hotel, having lunch. Just a bit of free time after that. Usually did that to reflect on the first session. Sometimes even did that on the coach. And after lunch, sometimes a masterclass, but usually around 3 p.m. Back to the training pitch to have the second session of the day. And after that, it was dinner time. There are a lot of days that are packed, but the days that aren't packed, you need to rest as well. You can't be on your toes all the time, because your body needs to rest and it will hurt your performance.
Exactly, and you see players picking up little niggles, little injuries, fatigue.
I'm 24, I know that's not old, but my body doesn't recover as fast as someone who's 15. Some of the youngins didn't do any recovery work at all. They didn't sit on a bike, they didn't stretch, and usually you see the one that didn't do it, those were the one who were at the sideline, not playing. Because they were hurt, sprained. And
obviously we would see that every day at the camp with you, how you would conduct yourself with your recovery. We're really big on that. The nutrition, staying hydrated, drinking your fluids, making sure you're doing everything correctly. And it all affects your performance on the pitch. What was it like to have, coaches there, being able to go and speak to them whenever you felt like it, going to speak to Simon, having one-to-one chats? How was that?
I think it was insane, man, especially with Simon. Simon got through to me. Ben was very good at connecting and making a chat and making you feel at home. And I really liked it with Ben, and he also knew a lot about football. But Simon got into the specifics, and when you want real feedback, you get Simon. So I think even the last week, I sat 3 times with Simon, because I think he even got sick of it. He gave me his number, so that's good. When I'm in England for an opportunity or something, I will make sure to call him. That's one thing, that's for sure.
And also you had some masterclass session and tactical sessions, right? Talk to me about that. How was that?
The master classes were very good. Also about nutrition, recovery, making a football resume. Very useful stuff, especially when you get into the higher places of football. And the tacticals, to be fair, were most of the time they were on the pitch, because that's where you can pick them up easily. And that's I think some people really needed that. And really in the first week, just the working on the passing, it helped me as well, because my passes were good, but not always. And now they're almost always good.
It's so important as well, working on that mental side of the game, because confidence, what I say to every young player, is the most important thing. A player that's confident, their game will go from here to here instantly. And I think as a goalkeeper as well, you have to always be confident. If you're a goalkeeper and you're not confident, 9 times out of 10, you won't really feel like that presence on the pitch. Being a confident goalkeeper, being loud on the pitch, commanding, being that leader, it goes off to the other players, and they all start to feel confident. So I think it's so important that, we work on that mental aspect at the camps. And we see massive improvements in players after the first week, second week, doing them couple sessions. And that's what I've seen. I don't know for you, did you realize that as well?
I realized it for sure, because before I couldn't really handle when I make mistakes.
Yeah.
When I made mistakes, it would be in my head, and it's not something you want during a match. And
that's a mentality to have, because if you get yourself down on the pitch, it's going to affect you. Also in the camp, you guys went to the gym, right? So you had strength and conditioning sessions and things like that. That's so important for football, right?
Yeah, I think it is. Especially, I still do that. I always did that since I went to the higher level club in the region. There are 2-3 times in the week I go stretching and cycling in the gym nearby, just to get everything off, man. Because when you had a hard training session on Thursday and you have a match on Saturday and you're still sore Saturday morning, it's not the position you want to be in, man. No. You better get on the bike on Friday, stretch, and you got a whole new set of legs the next day. Because if you're not on your A game because you're tired, your legs are tired, you're not going to hit the ball like you wanted to hit it, because your body is just lacking. And that's not the position you want to be in.
After the after camp process, I know that you get scouting reports, you get video footage, pictures as well. What could you tell us a bit more about that?
Yeah, for me, I was already used to working with video footage, so it was just a nice footage to add to the portfolio. The scouting report, I already had a new club, so that was not really a problem for me. But the scouting report boosted my confidence again, because I had a rough pre-season. Got into a new club, and the scouting report reminds me, okay, these are strong points, just do your thing, relax. Why bother to stress about something? Just relax and play how you play best.
It's massive that you say that, because a lot of young players probably are listening to this, or they will listen to this, and they'll feel like, what am I doing wrong? Why do I keep making mistakes? Why do I do this, do that? It's all in the mind. Your mindset has to be so strong in football. Whether you make a mistake, you have to put it to the back of your mind and focus on the next one. You have to also be honest with yourself after the game, what you can improve on, what you can do better. But also don't forget the good things you do as well. Do not forget about that, because at the end of the day, it's all about improving, developing, and becoming a better player. After the camp, what do you feel like you improved the most on your development? Do you feel like you left a better player?
I think the mindset, man. Of course, there were a lot of technical drills, so my passing improved, my long balls improved, my reading of the game improved. But I think the thing that most improved is my mindset, man.
Hearing from you to see, that you felt like you became a better player, you improved on the mental side of the game, also technically, it's great to hear, man, because during that 3 weeks, you obviously feel like a professional footballer. You live like a pro.
Yeah.
Everything you do is like a professional footballer. So after that 3 weeks, it's about maintaining that standard that you set yourself at the camp to carry on with your career or whatever you choose to do. To finish off, right, to any player that is looking to join a Train Effective camp, but they might be afraid to take that next step, what would be your advice to them? What would you say to them?
Why fear? Yeah, why fear? Just believe in yourself. Do it. Take your step. What if it turns out better than it could ever have turned out? What if this changes it? So there are a lot of examples from players who joined the camp and are now playing at their national team. It's insane. So why not? It's 3 weeks. So you're afraid of being away from home from 3 weeks. You're with a group of people. You're making new friends. It's amazing. You got the best coaching. You can do with it whatever you want, but you will leave a better player.
Listen, whenever you're in London or whatever, please come to our camps, whether that's just a visit or whatever. Listen, we'll love to have you back. Look after yourself. I hope you enjoyed, being on this podcast and speaking to me, because for me it's great speaking to you and seeing your development and seeing what you're doing now. It makes me really happy, bro.
Of course, man. I love the podcast. Love to speak to you again.
But listen, look after yourself. Good luck with your game tonight. Thank you again for coming on. We'll keep in touch.
Of course, we'll keep in touch, bro. Have a good one.
You too. Take care, man.